Welcome to the world of remote vehicles.
Hello world, welcome to this new comparison between Dronelink and Litchi. Everybody knows there's a lot of tutorials on the web about the app, but I haven't seen any about mission planning. So that's what we're gonna do in this video. I'm using a plan which I have made about 4 years ago, when I was in Nigeria while filming and maintaining the construction overview of my site. I have flown this mission with AutoPilot for about 1.5 years, and that was really from the start until handing over. So I will show that video of course at the end. So in the meantime I will replicate this mission both in Dronelink as in Litchi, which I have never done before. I'm not a very big fan of Litchi, but it's a stable app, it's good, so no problem. However, mission planning is a totally different story. So I do them side by side, as you can see on my on the video, and we'll just see where it goes. I have finished them. I will tell you during the operation how I find the difference between the apps, what I like about one and what I dislike about the other one. So at the end I think we're gonna have a really straightforward comparison. Alright, let's start programming. On the introduction you saw the screenshot of the replay of the AutoPilot planning. Here you see I have on the left side I have Dronelink and on the right side I have Litchi. The big difference directly is that Dronelink uses Mapbox while Litchi uses Google Earth. I must say Google Earth is a lot more responsive. We jump to the site directly. Due to the map it's a little bit difficult to find, but I know about where it is. So we just mark the starting point and we always can correct that later on. That's very handy in Dronelink. I'll just make a new plan as always. Because of the long flight, I said return to home after finish, and I reduced the speed to 13 km per hour as I always do. I will use for both missions exactly the same parameters. Also an altitude of 70 meters because I know out of experience that the highest point is 65 meters. The mission starting point will be my villa, that's where I always start my missions, and of course for Litchi it will be the same. One thing I like about Litchi is when you start a new plan, it will remain at where your map is, so not your home point. That saves time. One thing I really don't like about Litchi is as soon as you click on the map it directly makes a waypoint. I don't want that. When you're zooming or when you're searching, it always makes new waypoints. Annoying. Another big difference between Dronelink and Litchi is in Dronelink, in your setup file, you set your parameters, your altitude, your curves, whatever. In Litchi this is not possible, you have to do it every single waypoint. And especially if you have a lot of waypoints and you have also high masts or whatever, this can be dangerous. I have crashed a drone due to this. We'll first set up the flight plan in Litchi. I will use the AutoPilot flight plan as a reference because that one works and that is the one I've always used. As I said, if you change the parameters, you only change the parameters of the active waypoint. That is not so handy. That's about the flight plan. You see 1.7 kilometers. Now we go to Dronelink. Of course we set up a path mission. I like to use straight lines and then setting up the curvature by myself. Another big difference is in Litchi you have to click on the map to add a new waypoint. In Dronelink you just click on the plus and you drag it to where you want. Like in this sample, I set the start point and the end point, and all the intermediate points in the middle comes later. To be clear, you can do in Litchi the same, it's just not so intuitive and you need to do more steps, so I prefer the Dronelink system. The two plans are now ready, now it's time to fine-tune. This is the original flight plan I have used. I've always used 20 meters for my curvature and 50 meters if I need a big radius. In Dronelink you have to set the angles to linear and then change the radius of the curve. In Litchi it's opposite, you have to set to curve and then change the diameter. We insert a new waypoint so we can have a nice round curve so we can film the admin building. And we do the same in Litchi. When we set the path to curved, you see that now we have a radius. In the Litchi settings we can only set the cruising speed, not the elevation, so we have to do that for every point separately, as I said before. One advantage in favor of Litchi is that because every waypoint has its own altitude, you don't have to use markers. But the idea behind is actually the same. And as always, we save our work. Now we start with the tricky point, the points of interest, interpolation and the markers. As a reference, I've used of course the original plan, so for both Litchi and Dronelink we have the same settings, the same points of interest and the same markers. In total we have 5 points of interest. Out of experience I always put first all the points of interest, adjust them, and when they're done, then I put the markers. And also the Dronelink we save on a regular basis. We also set the elevation point above ground for focus. When all the points of interest are set, we will add the markers. They will control what the camera is doing with that point of interest. For every point of interest we set the marker, we choose the correct point of interest and we set the values like interpolation, etc. This basically works the same for both apps. One of the best features in Dronelink is the preview possibility, so we use that extensively. Because of the preview, I found one mistake. It is easy to correct. I'm happy. Now Litchi. Litchi doesn't use markers, so all your settings are at the waypoint. This is dangerous because when you add a waypoint and you want to click it to drag it, you also change your path. This is not very handy and professional. And of course you can focus at the point of interest in interpolation and set your own tilt. We have set all the points of interest and we are checking the interpolation and then we go export. The biggest drawback in Litchi is there is no preview of your mission. The only thing you can do is export and import it again in Google Earth. But this is only halfway, so there is no way to check your flight correctly, as you can see in my Google Earth mission. It just doesn't work. Because the export didn't work in Max Safari, I had to open it in Google Chrome. And now I can export. I have imported the plan in Google Earth, and as you can see, you only have the path. So I don't see any points of interest, I don't see any camera movements, I basically see nothing. Therefore, in my opinion, it's absolutely useless. The only way to correctly check your flight is, you guessed it, import it in Dronelink, but that's not what I'm gonna do here. So I think this is the test and everybody can make his own opinion. Mine is clear, I'll stick to Dronelink. And here is the flight with the Mavic Pro, October 2017. It's a little bit color graded.
Preying on you now, isn't it? I mean, the quiet